We are backstage right now as we are about to begin our live radio show. Stand by. Welcome to Ability MKE Now. My name is Sue Roskoff. Ability MKE Now is a show all about integration, bringing people with disabilities and people that don't have a disability together, enjoying life here in the Milwaukee area. We all have different abilities, and here at Ability MKE Now, we dive into this topic of diverse abilities. The concept of disability hits a wide range of possibilities. We could be talking about physical or mental disabilities, deaf and hard of hearing community, blindness, chronic pain, mental health diagnosis, goals of substance use reduction, and the list goes on. We all have our own experience with disability, whether it's our own, with people we know, or people we encounter in our daily lives. Here at Ability MKE Now, we break down the barriers and celebrate the ability in all of us. I am incredibly excited this evening as we have a great group that has come together. And for starters, I'm going to bring in somebody that is no stranger to this show. Patricia Smith has been with us in the past, and we have gotten to know her quite well over the last, couple of years now through all the networking we do with Happy Neighborhood Project. So we are currently co-hosts with the business to business group that meets every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Central. Patricia, come on in. Remind our audience who you are, and I'm really so glad you're with us tonight as a celebrity co-host with us.
Oh, I feel so terribly important, Sue. I'm delighted to be here with you. I do talk for a living, and so happy to be with this group tonight. I am Patricia Smith. I live in Nashville, Tennessee. I've been here 50 years, married a native, so I'm here for the long run. And I am a voice talent now that I have retired from many, many years in affordable housing, in blood donation for the American Red Cross, Tennessee Supreme Court. I've always been the communicator for my employer. So now I do auditions and talk to other people. So I'm delighted to be talking with you tonight.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight, Patricia. So we are going to bring in as well someone, again, who is no stranger to the show, Emily Golmer. Come on in and join the party. How you doing tonight?
Good. Good to be here.
Excellent. Well, and if you could please do the honors of introducing our first guest.
Okay, our first guest is out of California, and we met him through, I believe, a couple of people through the Happy Neighborhood Project, like Tommy Tong, who's been on here before, but Matt here is with another networking group called VEETS. And so, Matt, why don't you come in here and say a little bit more about who you are, what you do, and what's VEETS?
All right, thank you so much. It's great to be on the show, and I appreciate the warm welcome. A lot of people wonder what VEETS, what that word means, or what the name comes from, and so I'll share that with you. It's virtual meetings because we do these online networking calls similar to Happy Neighborhood Project. And so when we started off, we had a different name, but decided to do something that was kind of short and sweet. And these virtual meetings are happening kind of all over the country and the world. And that's where we got our name. So virtual meetings is VEETS.
Excellent. And how long have you been doing that?
So our networking organization started in May of 2020. So it was really a result of the pandemic and kind of needing to continue networking as kind of small business owners. So that May of 2020 was our first event. And we've kind of slowly but surely just continued to have a variety of opportunities to network online. And it's been a lot of fun growing since then.
Awesome. And so tell us a little bit more. When do you guys meet? Where can people find information about that?
Absolutely. So, well, the best way to find it is on our website, veets.io. So veets.io. But we meet, so we have 3 calls throughout the week. Our Monday call is a kind of a promotion support group where if somebody has a social media post or they've got a workshop coming up or whatnot, we kind of listen and try to support each other on that. Wednesday, we do more of a mastermind where we talk about our challenges and our struggles. We need brainstorming or advice. And then Friday is when we kind of bring in visitors. So we welcome in folks that have not been to our community, and we give them the white glove treatment and make them feel very welcome, and introduce them to what we do throughout the week. That's a little bit about what we do.
Excellent. So now, Patricia and Matt, I believe you two have met previously. Is that correct?
I'm thinking Matt is new to me. I have a whole lot of many questions already about Veets. May I ask them now?
That'd be
Good.
awesome.
So you started in May of 2022. Is that because you were already gathering physically before that time?
Well, May of 2020. So like right when the pandemic was, happening. And so we started as a virtual group. I come from kind of the world of BNI and other networking in-person groups. And so I recognized the opportunity to try to do the same thing with building relationships online. And that was really my interest in getting something big. So I tried not to overthink it and just invited everybody that I knew that was in business or that was interested in kind of being in these communities, and just went for it.
Good. So did you use LinkedIn? How did you communicate? How did you announce to the world that Veets was ready?
Yeah, good question. So, we all have kind of those folks we went to high school and maybe college with, and we have all the people from our friends and family. And I just really I reached out. I had no filters on. I was just reaching out to everybody I could think of saying, hey, I'm starting this thing. And so, through that method, just got the word out and got that first event. I got a spreadsheet going and just kept track of everybody I reached out to and said, okay, this person can't make it. Oh, this person might be able to make it. This person's coming. And so I just did my due diligence to make sure everybody was reminded. And so that's really how the first one started. And that's really been my kind of, I guess, secret sauce, if it's a secret at all. It's really just to put in a consistent amount of effort to get the word out, remind people, because we're all busy and people kind of get distracted with a lot of things. And so I look at it as my job is just kind of keeping people in the know about our events going on. So
do you want to share with us perhaps one of the successes, one of the collaborations that came together, or the information that was shared over some of that time?
Yeah, some of my favorite stories are some of our members that started in one place, but I've had the opportunity to see them grow over time. And in the entrepreneurial world, you are really trying to figure things out as you go. Nobody knows what they're doing. And, as much as someone might tell you, I think we're all trying to figure it out. And so I've had the opportunity to find folks that were early on in their business and thought they knew what they wanted to do. A gentleman named Brendan Drake, who's kind of a superstar in our group and really well networked. He started off when he first joined us. He had a full-time job and was doing kind of like computer data type stuff. And then he decided to leave that job and go on his own, and was really into health. So he did kind of a health business. And then he got into kind of data management with CRMs. So now he's transitioned to that, and he's been successful at each of those, but kind of found his way, and through our community been able to kind of build partnerships and relationships, and has really been able to provide value to those in the group with his services, and then receive value through opportunities or advice and support. And so really seeing those collaboration among our members over time, because it really takes time to do that sort of thing. That's been my favorite part of my position of being in it the longest, I guess.
Good. I have met Brandon. He is a superstar.
Yeah. Nobody dislikes Brandon. He's just an amazing individual. So yeah, glad you've met him before.
Well, and we do have a couple more friends joining us tonight. So I do want to take a next step here to be bringing in Ralph Brown to the party here. So Emily, I'm going to pass it back to you to give us an introduction.
So I met Ralph, but I know Ralph is into boat racing and has a thing about racing boats around the world. So Ralph, do you want to come in here and say anything more about who you are, what you do, and your boat
Absolutely.
racing?
Thank you, Emily, and thank you, Sue and Patricia and Matt. Thank you for letting me squeeze in here. Okay. I love that networking stuff that you do, and I just think that's fantastic. I'm doing something a little bit different. In fact, no one else in the world has ever done it. And that's to put together the first ever powerboat race all the way around the world. So, but if you just went all the way around the world just once, that's 24,000 miles. Unfortunately, you can't go straight around the world. Okay, you kind of zigzag a little bit. And so when you zigzag a little bit, but then you want to include other continents. You want to include Africa and South America and everything. And so ours isn't 24,000 miles. It's 62,000-mile race. It's the longest race in the history of mankind. And so other than the moon, launching to the moon, the space race. But other than that, it's actually about 1/4 of the distance to the moon. Okay, to give you a comprehension of what we're doing. And so, but up until recently, power boats couldn't race that far. Yeah, simply they get horrible fuel economy. But just to give you a comparison, if you were to get in your car and go down the interstate, assuming you have a gasoline internal combustion engine, okay, to just nail it down, what we're talking about, and you went 70 miles an hour down the interstate, you're probably getting between 20 and 30 miles to the gallon. Almost everybody would agree with that. If you got a boat, and you've got about a 300-mile range. And so if you get a boat that's got a 300-mile range, can go 70 miles an hour, okay, that eliminates about 99.9% of them. Excuse me, they can't go 300 miles at 70 miles an hour. But they wouldn't be getting 20 to 30 miles per gallon. They would be getting 2 or 3 gallons to the mile. And so it's just absolutely horrendous. And you look at the shipping industry. The shipping industry has been using the same basic technology since 1957. That was the last major improvement in the shipping industry. Now, get this, 90% of all trade on the planet goes through shipping. 90%, and there hasn't been a significant improvement. Now, ferries have come to new improvement, new engine systems, but that's not really built for efficiency. That's built for basically reliability, okay, and getting in and out of sharp, tight areas. And then you can look at the cruise ship industry. They've had some changes, but they're not really built for efficiency either. They're built for maneuverability, and they're basically all diesel electric because you're running gigantic generators for all the rest of the stuff on the cruise ship. And so you might as well just use them for propulsion too. And and warships are different. So we don't count about warships. But if you take the warships out of the industry, the cruise ships out of the industry, the ferry boats, the systems haven't changed. And they're burning almost 100 billion gallons of fuel. And that's not the cruise ships, the warships, and the freighters. I mean, ferries. That's basically the shipping industry. Almost 100 billion gallons of fuel. And there's no real changes. So what we're doing is we're creating a contest. It's a contest to develop the most fuel efficient vessels in the world. So I already hold 4 world records in boating. My wife says that's proof that she married an idiot. Okay. But anyways, she's probably with a hearing distance. She'd probably come in here and tell you about it. But I own a couple of 4 world records in boating. I've gone further in a small boat than anybody else in the history of the world. And so, anyways, as far as that goes, now we're going further in a bigger boat, and we're going to go faster. And so we're creating this annual race. And what's really cool about it is we're only letting 1 team per country. And by only letting 1 team per country in, it becomes the nation competing against nation dynamic. So what I mean by that is the 5 largest things on TV worldwide, all across the world, are all international sports. Okay, the Olympics, World Cup soccer, European Cup soccer, the America's Cup, a sailboat race, okay, and Formula 1. But 4 out of those 5 are nation competing against nation. The Olympics, it's nothing but nation compete. It's mostly racing, but a bunch of other events. Okay, World Cup soccer, that's nation against nation. Okay, European Cup soccer, that's nation against nation. And then the America's Cup is nation against nation. It's a sailboat race. But 100, excuse me, almost 1 billion people watch that sailboat race. And it's just, compare that to our NFL. About 40 million Americans watch the NFL.
Oh.
About 1 billion people watch the America's Cup. It's just huge. And so it's just, when we're Americans, we think that if it's not happening here, it's not happening. We just have that in our brains. Unfortunately, we only represent 4% of the world's population. So there's a lot more people elsewhere than there are here. And there's, as far as that goes, some neat stuff. And so we're hoping to get 50 teams from 50 different countries, 50 different universities, 50 different naval architects, 50 different marine engineers, all struggling to compete to develop the most fuel-efficient vessels in the world, because you can't win the Cup Royale, a 62,000-mile race, without being more efficient, more maneuverable, and more reliable than the other guy. And once you develop something that's more efficient, more maneuverable, and more reliable than the other guy, the shipping industry may pay attention to you. I mean, if you want an exercise in waste of time, try to convince a marine architect, a naval architect, that you have a better idea. Okay, you're just wasting your breath. Okay, if you don't have a degree in naval architecture, they're not even going to listen to you. They have no interest, because they're set in their way. It's kind of like way back with IBM and Hewlett Packard. They thought that they were the greatest things in the world when it came to computers. So this guy named Steve Wozniak had a partner named Steve Jobs, and they came up with this new computer system, but Steve Wozniak worked for Hewlett Packard. And so he goes in, and because his contract requires him to bring new ideas that they develop into Hewlett Packard, and Hewlett Packard decides if they want to invest in them or not. Okay, but that's a requirement. So they bring this, Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs bring it in, and Hewlett Packard's like, we're important. You kids are nothing. You know nothing. You're kids. Okay, we're important. Now, if it's going to be, if any value, it's going to be developed by our guys. Okay, and they just didn't grab that concept. And then basically, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, applied for some work over at IBM, and IBM turned him down. Okay, because he's not IBM. Okay, they have better ideas. And so basically, in a nutshell, Bill Gates' parents knew the leadership of IBM, and they did a backdoor deal, and they got IBM to give them a second chance and actually take advantage of it. But basically, both of them had the philosophy that we're the biggest, we're the best, we know everything there is to know, and you guys can't teach us anything. So young people brought new ideas to the table, massive competition, pooled knowledge where they learn from each other, and a referee, basically. Okay, and we just now you got more computer, in your little phone, okay, than the biggest and best computers that IBM and Hewlett Packard could bring to the world. Okay, because new ideas, massive competition, pooled knowledge. Okay, and a referee. You need a referee, because otherwise you cheat. Okay, you got to have a way to keep them from cheating. But referees, and then you have new ideas. And so we're looking to see some unbelievable world-changing ideas that'll come out. And it won't necessarily be the ship manufacturers, the naval architects of the world that come up with the best ideas. So I developed some technology that allowed me to set world records. I made the mistake of buying fuel at a big marina. And when I was first starting this, and all these professional guides, these people make a living out on their boat, guiding people. They're watching me, and they're laughing behind them. They're laughing kind of behind my back at first. And then they start snickering. And then after a while, that was a full-blown in your face. Okay, you're an idiot. You can't do this. It cannot be done. This just absolutely cannot be done. Now, those of you on the radio can't see this, but everybody else on the TV thing can see there's 3 world records sitting behind me on the wall. Okay, I have 4, but only 3 of them are on the wall. But anyways, I did accomplish everything I said I would accomplish, because these guys they're world-class experts. They knew everything they need to know, but they weren't willing to bring new technology to the market. They were willing to do things as they've always done them. And because it's always been this way, it's going to always be that way forever. And that's just not true. new ideas, okay, massive competition, okay, pooled knowledge, and a referee, okay, and you're going to see all kinds of new great ideas come out to play. And so I could talk forever, and it's really just exciting because we're going after the world speed record for the fastest boat in the history of mankind to go around the world, and we're going to break that world record. We already have our technology developed. We're already ready to go, raring to go, and just pulling all the pieces together. And this is exciting. Now we're talking about also disabilities involved in it, and some vets that have given up part of their bodies have been involved in my previous world records, and we're going to have them involved in my new world records too. Okay, because why not? Why not? Okay,
That's what I
just
like
the
to
way it
hear.
goes. Why not? Okay, and I know you wanted to talk to somebody else out there, so I'll stop talking right there. And feel free to ask questions anytime you want.
Excellent. Well, and I'm excited to hear more and more about this. This is amazing. Because speaking of boats, we have a really, really good friend of our family actually that we do a lot of our adaptive water skiing with. Rick Legis is joining us here on the phone as well. And Rick, I want to give you a chance to come on in here. He knows more about boats than I ever could hope to, but he has a heart of gold and has shared his passion of water skiing with us. And through his efforts, we have been able to bring an amazing number of individuals water skiing that never ever thought that they would have the chance to do that based on whatever their perceived disability is or barrier to be able to enjoy the sport. So Rick, come on in, say hello, and I want to give you a chance to reflect a little bit here on this past summer and all the fun experience that we had getting on the water. Rick, welcome.
Well, thank you for that wonderful introduction, Sue. Yeah, it's been an amazing year we had. With the pony boat, we call it fondly. It's a really old craft that we rebuilt last year, and we've been doing this for what now? Almost a decade now, Sue, with the adaptive. And the cool part was that none of this stuff was my idea, right? It was actually Kurt, your husband Kurt, was idea to start this adaptive thing, and it kind of grew, and now we have a water ski club, the Lindsay Legis Free Water Skiing Club, and we have a special focus on adaptive. And this year we've become officially Wisconsin Federation Water Ski Club. So we're looking forward to learning more about trying to get the word out about our events. And I think it was August 23rd, right, Sue? We had over 40. I think we had 47 adapters in one single day, and we started at 10 a.m. and I think we had everybody skied by 3 p.m. So then we kept going. I think it was amazing. I think we skied a lot of our 47 skiers multiple runs, and we had probably over 100 tight lines, we call it, I guess, and 100 pulls that day. And at the same time, Aqueducts helped us out, and they gave water ski lessons to family members and caregivers of our adaptive. So it was pretty cool that we were able to include everybody that was there, anybody that wanted to either ride in the sit ski or learn how to water ski off the boom and short line and then behind the boat, whatever their ability was, we were able to get them water skiing no matter what. And having people have supported us so much. We have more equipment now, all types of wetsuits and life jackets and 2 sit skis, one with we call it the Joe ski, right? This whole thing started because of Joey Matuska. He had broke his neck. And so we built he's kind of a big boy, so we built this really big water sit ski for Joey. He's quadriplegic, so it has a high back and side runners, so it's real stable. And we call it the Joski ski. He's Polish, the Joski ski. And the Joy Joski or something, I forget. Something like that. I got a ski on the end anyway. And then we have our other sit ski now too that has an adjustable cage that for any size person we can adjust the cage so that the person is snug as a bug as a rug on a hug in that ski. So so while one skier was skiing, we had the other ski there to get the next person lined up. And I think at one point we had our first ever 2-bolt pattern with sit skis running. So So and it was amazing summer. With our highlight was August 23rd. I think we did 3 events on Browns Lake, and then we did a 1 event at State, and then a couple I think Badgerland with their on the water event. They came and borrowed they borrowed the adjustable cage sit ski for their event that day too. So the skis are helping other clubs as well. So we make our equipment available to anybody that can use it. So it's a real blessing because my daughter's not here, but you guys are, and you give us a reason to come to the lake, and it's been a wonderful thing. Where it gives me and my wife and everybody around me, I think, a new sense of purpose for water skiing. You know, we still give regular water ski lessons, but our special focus now is adaptive. That's where our heart is, and that's where we hope to focus our efforts more on adaptive than anything. So
That's super,
Anyway.
super cool.
Yeah, Ralph, go ahead.
I heard you guys are going to do a polar skiing event on New Year's Day. Is that true?
That's an idea. Yeah, the polar plunge on a new level, huh?
Yeah.
we might have to break the dry suits out for that one.
And maybe a little ice off the lake.
Yeah, it had kind of big holes in the lake, I guess.
I think what you guys do is so fantastic. Okay, it's just absolutely fantastic. There's
Well, thank you.
I have a friend of mine that's got a disabled child, and his wife abandoned him. With a disabled child. He's a former police officer, and he formed an organization where these guys that have disabled children take their kids on athletic events. And one of the things they rode surfboards all the way from Miami to the Bahamas, and they put their disabled kids in boats behind them that they pulled, and they were all part of it.
Oh, wow.
They've got carts. They put their kids in carts, and they'll race bicycles, for 10 miles.
Yeah.
And kids love it. They just absolutely love it. And I love what you guys do. It's just phenomenal. I think it's so great. You bring so much joy into somebody's life and memories that they'll talk about all year long and can't wait to do it again next year. It's just absolutely fantastic. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, it is a real blessing. Yeah, there's nothing like it.
I would 100% agree. And I do have another friend joining us here tonight. Debbie, I want to have you come on in and give a quick hello as well. Debbie Dub Miller, who has been also a wonderful friend of the show. Come on in and say hello.
Well, hi everyone. It's great to see everyone. I'm just excited to hear all the great things that have happened this summer. So thanks. But time's up. So.
Thanks so much, Debbie. And Ellen Holmes is also joining us here this evening. I cannot give enough appreciation to all of you who are joining us here tonight. We've got Patricia, who is coming in and stepped in as a guest host with me tonight, which I so appreciate. We get to see each other on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock Central with the business to business group that we all have known and love with Happy Neighborhood Project, where so many of us have connected through that. Matt, thank you so much for being here and sharing Beats with us. I still have to be a part of one of the meetings that you guys have. So I'm so glad to know more. Ralph, I'm excited to hear more about the boat racing and what is all going to be happening with that. Ellen and Debbie, you guys are always amazing coming on here and joining us as you do, and you make such a difference. And Rick, you, my friend, close friend, make such a difference for so many. So again, my name is Sue Roskoff with AbilityMKE.